What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the game room. You have no idea how much I've missed this. So, since you've already seen the thumbnail, you know that today's video is about Ball Breakers on the PlayStation. Now, Ball Breakers was part of Take-Two Interactive's budget title series, which came out around starting in 2000 with Action Bass, Darkstone, Martian Gothic, and it was an interesting gambit. Like, other companies like Age Tech were already starting to do budget titles starting at $10. And what this created was a weird loophole for publishers to get around the greatest hits requirements, where instead of trying to sell so many titles so that you can sell it for $20 with the green stripe, they were like, screw it, we'll just sell the games for $10. It obviously was working in Japan with the Simple series, which is where the majority of Age Tech games came from. But I know the budget titles get a lot of flack, but there really are some great ones in there, and Ball Breakers is one of them. So let's jump into it. To describe the game in simplest terms, it's Marble Madness crossed over with the American Gladiators and dipped in Mad Max aesthetic. The storyline is there only to provide justification for the crazy character designs and gameplay, but it's not without merit. Synthetic species locked in prison are given the option of joining a tournament to win their release from confinement. The catch is that the entry fee for this tournament is quite literally cutting off your body's lower half and replacing it with a floating ball attachment. Imagine turning yourself into BB-8 from Star Wars and you'll get a good idea of what to expect. Once mutilated and rebuilt, the synthetics must run through a gauntlet of different prison systems, each having their own arenas and challenges. These contests are divided into 7 possible events. Race. The simplest of the 7 events. The player and 4 other computer-controlled prisoners must race through a track and be the first to cross the finish line to win. The tracks become longer and more obstacle-driven as the game progresses. Tag. In Tag, it's the game's equivalent of a skateboarding collecting quest like VHS tapes in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. You must collect the designated number of tags before time runs out. Physics play an important role in this event, as you must learn to keep your speed and gain enough height on certain jumps. As players make their way further into the prison system, the levels become less skate park and more post-apocalyptic playground. Run the Gauntlet. Players must survive a maze full of machine guns, laser guns, fire traps, other prisoners, and spikes to reach the finish gate. Gauntlets become more twisted and more creative in trap locations as the game goes on. Of the 7 events, the Gauntlet will be the earliest chance for gamers to start messing with the levels, but more on that later. Last Man Standing. This one's easy. Be the last prisoner left alive before time runs out. Stages will become longer with locked doors, which will only open once the current occupants are dealt with. There are ways around that though, but your rolling skills must be pitch perfect. Powerball. The sports entry of the events. Powerball is essentially being a football running back needing to throw the ball and attach it to a magnetic pole several times. Here, players will need to score a set amount of points by attaching set amount of balls to the scoring column. Hazards, other prisoners, and even some level design will try to stop you from scoring. King of the Hill. My favorite of all the events and also a huge stress release. Contestants must roll up to a platform and stay within a marked location by themselves. The timer slows down for every rival that enters it, which means gamers will need to shove, push, and bat swing the competition off the platform to make sure they hit the time limit. Pursuit. The final event in the game is Pursuit, and it is the most diabolical of the entire set. Here, your goal is to reach the end of the level before the arena literally flattens behind you. One false step and you'll sink into a watery grave. It's here that the game's break button will be used the most, to the point of possibly snapping the actual controller button. These events are planned out across 10 prison systems until the final events pit you against the other playable characters. Once they're taken care of, you face the Warden himself. Topple that monstrosity and your victory and freedom to enjoy the universe will be once more secure. You'll have access to 6 different synthetic contenders, each having their own set of strengths and weaknesses. The Speedy Angel, the Well-Rounded Apostle, the Super Strong Benny, the Maniacal Lockdown, the Agile Sophie, and then the hidden character, the Doctor. The final one is unlocked by earning a medal in every event, and he even has an extra attack option. For the review, I stuck with Apostle thanks to his well-balanced stats, and he looked a bit like Soul Reaver. From there, it's off to the prisons. Finishing an event will reward you a medal. Securing a specified time will earn you a gold medal. Earning a gold medal reveals the Ball Breaker's most devious feature, the lost times, which I alluded to earlier in the event's description. A lost time is a goal set so high that the only way to actually obtain the lofty time is to break the level. For example, a race stage's main goal might be 4 minutes. A gold medal will require you to race in 2 minutes. The lost time will require you to finish it in 30 seconds. No, really. Some stages have lost times of 8 seconds or less. My favorite example of how you must break the game comes from one of the pursuit stages. A set of widely spaced platforms in a giant pool of water must normally be navigated with careful jumps and proper braking. To achieve the lost time, the player will need to quite literally hurl themselves through the water, taking heavy damage and hoping to use the momentum to roll up over a barrier and right into the goal line. Controls are easy enough to understand, allowing players the ability to run, jump, punch, pick up and throw items, pick up weapons and use them as well. The Marble Madness reference is on point. Ball Breaker's physics take speed and gravity into account, so if you know how to use a hill or incline to your advantage, insane speeds and air can be achieved. The music and sound effects are fairly standard, but there's something about the soundtrack that fits the game just right. For a game where repeated attempts are the main feature, it's nice to have a soundtrack that isn't repetitive. From a graphics standpoint, Ball Breakers delivers thanks in part to simple designs. Lighting effects dot the landscape, various transparencies abound, and even the level melting effect in Pursuit looks cool. All 6 combatants and in-game rivals are well detailed despite their simple wireframe structures. For a $10 game, there's a lot to be happy with on the platter. Finally, there are 2 last pieces to the puzzle, one a reward and the other a mystery lost to time, quite literally. With the former, the gold medal one's unlocks will eventually open up the hidden prison. Here, players will have access to 2 different versions of golf. In one, the meter to launch the ball acts as if it was swinging a club. In the other, it's pushing the ball along with the beam. The latter, however, is one of the PlayStation's great mysteries. When a player achieves one of the lost times, the game will display a 32-bit hex value. This value acts as a sort of security tag that would prove the lost time was a valid entry and not game-sharked or photoshopped. A high-speed running community reached out to the developers, and sadly, even the developers don't remember the purpose of the confirmation codes. More than likely, it was for a potential contest, but clearly nothing ever arose from it. Researching magazines from around that time frame and even combing through Lost Toys and Take-Two's website through archive.org produced nothing as well. The point of the lost time security hashes truly have been lost to time. 20 years later, and Ball Breaker is still a treasure buried in the PlayStation's library. It features White Knuckle Challenge, an absolutely addicting reward system, and its ever-demanding lost time keeps bringing the player back for more. It's not just a speedrunner's dream game, it's a trophy achievement addict's bread and butter. Each character is locked to their own playthrough, so in effect, you have 6 different games to unlock 70 different medals per character, and that's not even including the lost time ones. The game tracks your number of tries for each event, and it can run from 3 tries to well over 100. Or 200, in my case. But look, I made the lost time, haha! As of the review's published date, Ball Breakers is still pennies on the dollar compared to other PlayStation games. Its addictive gameplay, great variety of events, unique designs, and visuals are betrayed by its own existence. Were this a Crash Bash game, with Sony's mascots running on top of giant balls in a comic world, this would have sold gangbusters. Trapped behind generic characters and a late release date, Ball Breakers instead finds itself waiting for the next gamer and generation of gamers to unlock its true potential. On Game-Rave's review scale, it gets a great 8 out of 10. All right, guys, before we end the episode, in the review I mentioned a speedrunning community. You can actually locate them at Moho Community on Twitter, and they have their own Discord as well. They actually helped me cross-reference the lost times security hashes. They've been doing some crazy speedruns on there. They post videos when they get a chance. It's really a tight little community. If you're looking for a challenge, check them out. Check out the game. It's amazing. Oh, it feels so good to be back, guys. I have now been symptom-free for about a week, if not more. Let's never, ever, ever, ever do that again. But yeah, we're back. Living History Project has been programmed through January. I'm probably going to do February, and once that's taken care of, I will just start hauling butt through all the missing November games and then finally kill off the last of the backlog. And once that's done, we can start working on mixing in demo page updates and starting the quality of life updates. It's just so good to be back. You have no idea. All right, guys, be safe. December is going to be here in a couple of days, which means I already have to start working on the top 10 games of 2000 for the PlayStation. God help us all. Take care, guys. Be safe. Wear your masks. Play games. Have a good one.